On this episode of the podcast, I'm joined by Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt Tony Spencer, as well as a special guest appearance by Jiu-Jitsu Purple Belt Rob Halpern, also known as Roblems. They give us some information on their Jiu-Jitsu journey and how they have developed and changed with Jiu-Jitsu. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And also, Rob's got a pretty awesome laugh, so I hope you all enjoy the podcast. Thanks. This is supposed to be the Tony Spencer podcast, but we have Roblems here.
Hey.
Rob, how long have you been training Jiu-Jitsu? We'll talk about something serious.
Since 2002. But then I took a leave of absence for about 7 years.
Tony, how long have you been training?
It was 11 years April.
Tony's black belt. Rob, you're
sometimes
purple with a little blue.
Yeah, Rob's got a fake belt. He got it on eBay. It
I got it in Chinatown.
What's I don't know, just whatever y'all like. How you develop your techniques?
So today I was rolling with, I'm not going to say who, and I was in the guy's guard, and I did the normal pass where you trap the arm and put it behind the guy's back.
Yeah,
and
arm from guard, right?
Arm trap, yes, from guard. I went for the knee pass, got around a side control, still had that arm trap, popped up, knee on belly, all the pressure, he couldn't defend. My left arm reaches over for the bread cutter, cranks it down, and he couldn't even tap. Oh, that was my knee on belly 3.0. It works.
Are you coming out with your own DVD now?
Yeah.
Roblems, KOB.
Rob's got this
3.0.
Stupid bro sweep that works.
Dude,
because he's such a bro.
That was
yeah,
7 times in a row.
You hit it like 4 times on me.
No, twice on you.
What is it?
Well, it's because you're like 250 pounds and he's like 170 pounds.
225.
Huge. Monster.
That's 25 pounds.
So you feel like it worked for you? I mean, could you pull it off on somebody that's maybe more stronger?
Oh, on a stronger guy? I thought you said a smaller guy.
No, stronger guy. Like somebody that can maybe... Is it all stem from like you getting the arm behind the back? I mean...
Yeah, so that's kind of hard to do.
How do you
with
transition
guy,
though? Okay, go ahead. How do you transition? Yeah, how do you transition to like holding it there? How did you transition to what you did?
You just make sure to lock the arm and keep the arm trapped the whole time as you're passing, and don't let go of the arm once you get in the side control, and then pop up knee on belly.
Okay.
And I'll have to show you one day.
Tony, what's your go-to? You got a go-to move you like to do?
Whatever
or position?
Whatever the guy gives me. Oh, position-wise, man, I've been like in half guard a lot.
Yeah, you like bottom half?
Yeah.
That's what you play, like knee shield? You like that knee shield type stuff? Yeah. I think it's
I've been working on like some far side.
So Rob, tell us what you used to do when you used to bounce. What did you used to wear on your wrists to choke people out?
Friendship bracelet? What would Jesus do? What would Henzo do?
Oh my God.
I wore a wristband, and then you could
like an athletic wristband,
athletic Nike wristband.
Like let Rob walk around looks like a tennis player with the wristbands on.
Wonder Woman.
And so what would you do if somebody was like being a dick at the club?
I would test out my moves that I learned that day in class, and
you would use. How would you use your wristband?
Just
on?
Spin them around, take their back, and then put the Ezekiel choke on them.
All right, so here we'll transition because this is a really good point. Like, what do you feel like about sport jiu-jitsu against like jiu-jitsu in the street? I mean, really, there's a lot of shit that's not applicable. A lot of stuff's not applicable in the street. A lot of stuff you wouldn't do. So I mean, like
Barambolos and shit.
Yeah, like inverted stuff. Donkey guard. What do you think? I mean, Rob, what did you see at work, man? Like in the street, honestly, like if you're
basic jiu-jitsu, your basic moves. You're not going to do anything fancy on the street. You're just going to close the distance. You're going to take them down and.
Like 1-2 inside trip or something.
Yeah, 1-2 inside trip. You don't really want to roll around on the ground. I've done it. You get your back gets all scarred up when you try to arm bar somebody from your back. It kind of sucks.
But see, I don't know why you wouldn't arm bar somebody because that's not gonna. I mean, you break their arm, but it still doesn't necessarily stop them.
Oh,
it
does.
What if you do it and they follow their back? You know what I mean? Then you can take them out. Tee off on them. I wouldn't want to be on the ground because what if he's got homies and they come up, start stomping with their Timberlands?
Yeah.
You know?
I believe it's Timberlands.
Timbos. Just say Timbos.
Tims.
Have you gotten any street altercations, Tony?
Man, I tell you what, like I used to get in quite a few fights, like back in my younger days. But to be honest, man, like there's been a few. I just walk away from them now for real. Because I mean, you just don't know, man. Like nowadays, they'll just shoot you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true. How many? You had? I remember going. How many MMA fights have you had?
2. Yeah.
What was you won both, right?
Yeah.
How'd they go?
The first one went the distance. That was a good one.
Being a jiu-jitsu guy, I mean, how'd it feel standing up, throwing hands at somebody? Was that weird? Did you spend a lot of time on the ground?
Yeah, I mean I took it short notice. You know what I mean? I remember it was a week of Thanksgiving, and I didn't eat. I had like some turkey scraps, and like the next day I had a fight.
That's awesome.
But
turkey scraps.
I could probably count on 2 hands how many punches I threw. It was basically like
so you just took him down.
Yeah, it was jiu-jitsu. The takedown was a doozy. I looked like a Minotauro back in Pride. You know what I mean? Like where he'd like shoot in and just kind of
straight in the half or something.
Yes. No, the dude basically just like fell on my
What belt were you?
Like purple.
Purple.
Yeah, purple belt.
And you fought again as a black or brown? I think it was brown.
Yeah, I think brown.
Yeah,
brown belt. That one I trained for. Like I trained.
Submitted them.
Yeah, like I think it was like 30 seconds or something. But they switched opponents on me though.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fight a wrestler, and it's funny because like their whole team was there, and then I think that's when like state starts stepping in and like you had to pay. Which is kind of odd to me. Like, pay, I had to pay to fight. Like, fighting amateur, and I had to pay to fight.
So, like, just for, I guess, the state to be there, pay for their doctors?
It was just state just making more money.
Right.
But then they told them they wanted to test for drugs. It was either like drugs or like PEDs or something like that. And, like, basically, like, that whole squad, like, split. And then they were left trying to find replacements. And I got stuck with some guy. I don't mean,
What was the squad?
Well, that fight team, whatever fight team it was.
I think I know the team you're talking about.
I don't know. They all took off. There was like 5 or 6 of them. So
how'd you feel? What made you want to fight? What made you want to get in there?
Just try out jiu-jitsu. It's like
see if your jiu-jitsu worked.
Yeah, it's like controlled environment. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't have to worry about getting shot,
right,
or jumped.
Why'd you get into jiu-jitsu in the first place?
I
mean, shit. 11 years ago, not a lot of people were in jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's a lot more popular now.
Right.
How'd you get around? I kind of like finding out the stories because I feel like a lot of these guys have been training a while. Black belts like Chewy and Brent Weedman and all them. They've been around like kind of, and Taz Ferguson. They've been around kind of the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Kind of everything started coming around.
Yeah.
How'd you start? Where'd you start at?
I started with Derby City. Adam and Aaron Harper from the Halpern Foundation. I date their cousin, and I'd see them at like family functions and stuff. They'd be like, "Man, come try us jiu-jitsu out." And I think at the time they were out at this gym called Hester's. And
yeah,
it was like about an hour away from my house with traffic and stuff. And then so I kept putting it off. 3 or 4 years go by, and then they end up moving, sharing a spot with this jazzercise place like 2 minutes from my house.
That sounds fun, jazzercise.
So why didn't you get into jazzercise?
Where's
jazzercise at now? Like,
I don't think I know. I don't know. Somewhere.
Ohio or something.
You don't want like nice glutes and ass and shit.
Get that doing jiu-jitsu.
Priorities, bro.
Yeah, but
what's that? What are you showing me pictures of? Rob is
with chaps on.
So is that you?
No, it's Justin.
Some guy in with a 6-pack with horse chaps.
It's court, bro.
Why are you?
He's got chaps on.
I don't know. It's on Facebook.
Oh my god, Tony, I'm sorry.
Just cut this guy.
ADD.
Just leave him in here. He's
Rob.
We ain't got.
Just watch the door, will you?
So anyway, man, like I finally got in there. It was April of 2005, and I was hooked. You know what I mean? And I came in like. I was fat, man. Like, I lifted weights to like high school and a little bit after high school, and then I just quit lifting. I did kind of like what Rob did, just start partying, And, I was like 225 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
What do you weigh now?
I'm probably walking like 165, somewhere in there. But,
you don't have a big frame either. You're not a big dude.
No. I was just fat, man, like, out of shape. But, 6 months, man, I lost like 50 pounds.
Damn.
And then I cleaned my diet up, man, and lost like another 25. So So yeah, dude.
So it kind of changed. I mean, it really changed.
Yeah, I went from 225 to competing at 150.
What'd you do? Did you do anything like in high school growing up? Were you competitive in anything? Or?
I did baseball and I wrestled a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but that's about it. You know what I mean? As far as like school.
Yeah. What do you think? Like as far as how have you developed your game through the years? What have you? I mean, because there's a lot of shit that's come. You know, jiu-jitsu's definitely developed. You know.
Oh yeah.
It developed a lot. I mean, now you see a lot of the leg lock game, and everybody's into the leg locks and all this stuff. How do you feel like it's changed? How have you evolved with it? What do you do?
Yeah, I've added up a lot of leg attacks and stuff, man.
Like, how do you go about like learning new techniques?
You see something you like, man, something that resonates with you, you just drill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of look at YouTube, or I mean, just read on about it. What do you do?
No, I mean, you know, once in a while I'll see something like in a magazine or something.
Okay.
Or somebody else will show.
Tony still reads magazines. He's old.
Well, like Jiu-Jitsu Mag or whatever, Gracie Mag.
I
find those laying around.
That's all. No, that's great, man. I mean, I use a lot of I just look at YouTube shit that pops up.
And then a lot of times, man, I'll get in here and we'll just start messing around with a technique, and then before you know it, you know, you're 3 or 4 techniques deep off one thing.
Yeah. So you just kind of like. You said like rabbit hole. You kind of just go down that rabbit hole and see where it, like what develops, what builds off of it.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I said. Like I've been favoring half guard a lot.
Right.
You know, I was kind of getting burnt out with it, and then I end up coming across some stuff that's working for me during rolls. So
yeah. What do you do like to implement in your game? How do you implement it into your game? Like you just drill it, or do you just try to see if it works in a live roll?
Yeah, I usually just try to do it in a live roll, and then if I had success with it, then I'll start like drilling it.
Yeah. How'd you feel like your progression was, like as far as start from white belt to blue, purple? How'd you feel like you progressed? What do you feel like was the thing that maybe got you to a blue belt, then got you to purple or brown, black? I mean, did you see like certain kind of evolution in your game?
Man, to be honest, it all just kind of clicked. Like I was a white belt, like I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 stripe white belt, and I was at I think it was a local tournament, it was like bluegrass or something like that, and like during the tournament, like I just started throwing like combos. I'd have somebody like a triangle, and then I'd switch off to arm bar. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I ended up having like 8 matches and like 6 submissions in a row or something. Yeah, so everything just clicked for me like that day. And
what was your go-to? Did you have like a go-to submission?
Man, I was like guard. You know what I mean? Like yeah. After a while, they were like, man, if we see you pull guard, you know, one more time. Yeah. So. You know, that's one thing that I can say that's progressed for me. Like,
so your top game's improved?
Yeah, well...
Passing game?
Yeah, passing game. Like, I've been half guard, like a knee shield used to give me trouble, but
yeah,
I think I got that.
Rob, what do you like, man? What's your go-to? What's your position you like to go? Like, do you like to pull guard? You like to get on top? You're a big dude? Well, you weren't that big of a guy, man.
Well, it's kind of weird because I started out being a small guy, and I used to do what Tony did, and that was a lot of guard, you know, playing and close guard and all that monkey shit. And then slowly, you know, I didn't have any top game whatsoever. I sucked at passing, and then when I came back into jiu-jitsu, I was a lot bigger, and so all that small stuff really didn't work for me anymore. And I developed a better pressure pass and top game and get side control and smash and crush and
neon belly
3.0, and then it was before that was the 2.0, and then just your basic neon belly.
What's 2.0?
2.0 is
that was a lapel and the pant leg where you pull them, right?
No, that's when you put the crush, what's that, kind of like the shoulder of justice, and you lock them down, and then you just slide your knee in there. I think you might have got pregnant once or twice off that one.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Rob.
No problem. Sorry. And
you want some of this?
No, that does look tempting. I'm fucking starving. But
swirly peanut butter. I don't know.
Yeah, that's from
it's probably got chemtrails in it. Cornstone.
I don't know. I like it all.
Yeah. Yeah, you work everything? Yeah, I feel like I get, you know. Today I got caught in a triangle, so I went to my go-to.
What was that?
Loop choke, right?
And I loop choke.
Yeah.
I got it. I hit it, but I was pissed. I was on Tony. I mean, nothing against anybody. I just hate it when I know something's coming. I put myself in a situation I can't. It was mental for me, man. I guess there's two types of people. You run from it. Tony's like, just leave it alone, man, and just go. I was like, no, I can't leave it alone.
I was just telling you that because I was rolling with you next. I didn't want you to take that shit out on me.
I wasn't, man. But I wasn't quite. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't quite all the way there. Like, we got in some bad shit, and I let you kind of put me. I didn't let you do anything. You put me in some bad stuff, and you got a couple taps on me for sure. But
me?
Yeah, you tapped me twice.
I don't even remember.
They were both legs.
Oh, see, I told you I start working some legs.
Yeah, I do too, man. I love.
So, is it true you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
It is true.
Man, Tony.
This dog, anyway. You know what I mean?
Tony, how do you feel like? Do you feel like you got a bigger target on you as a black belt? You feel like people come after you a little bit? I mean, because you're not like, you're not the biggest guy in the gym. You know what I mean? And how old are you? 40.
40. I turned 40.
40. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Your body takes a beating. You don't recover as quick. You don't.
No, I don't.
Don't have as much, energy. I'm sure I don't. I'm almost 33. I don't have as much energy. But I mean, what do you think? How's your game evolved as you gotten older?
Technique, man. It's all about the technique. You know, if like I said, I'm not the biggest guy in here, but
right.
If your technique's sound, then you can still.
Yeah, I mean, you're technical as shit. I mean,
try to be. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you are, man. You put a lot of stuff. You kind of. I think the way that when I roll with you build off stuff. Like I've learned to expect like. You're not going to put me in one position and then just stay there. You're going to go from one, and you already got something you're working on.
Yeah,
you're trying to progress. I mean, and that's the thing. I think that's like an upper level belt does that. Like you
bait and switch. I call it bait and switch. Like
you're like a step or two ahead. You're just trying to set stuff up.
I like it. I feel like when I roll with you, we kind of like flow roll. I mean, we go hard, but it's like combos.
Yeah, you just
I go
stuff
for
at each other.
something, you defend. It's like back and forth. It's like we're dancing, and it's like move. You know, one thing doesn't work, and then you're going for something, and then back and forth, and it's pretty awesome. And it's never really spazzy. And
that's
you roll with some people.
Yeah, it's controlled. I mean, it's controlled.
Very
really.
controlled.
Yeah. It's controlled. I mean, I don't know if you want to say chaos, but it's really controlled technique. Controlled.
It's poetry in motion, son.
It is, man. It's beautiful.
But
it's good. I enjoy it, man. I'll tell you what. I roll with some people, and they just like they'll work to crush you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think you're strong enough to do that to some people, but you don't play that game. You play a game where you try to out technique people, which I think is fun because when you get caught in something, you learn. I think you learn something. I'll tell you, every time I roll with you, I feel like I'd get a little bit something out of it. And you can't say that about rolling with everybody because some people just smash pass or whatever they do their go-to and they get you in that position and then you're just there.
Yeah.
And then some people we might end up in some similar positions, but like I feel like I'm always working something, learning something. I don't know. That's just
I mean it's just how I do stuff. You know what I mean? Like I can't stay on like the same technique. People have their go-tos. Like I like to have like 3 or 4 go-tos from like each position.
It keeps you well-rounded for sure.
And I try to get them to where they link up. You know what I mean? Where I'm not having to go from point A to point D. You know what I mean? Like I want the B and C to be in every between.
So Eric told me you are the grandfather of the bro sweep.
Yeah. I mean,
if y'all don't know, the bro sweep is when somebody's passing over into side control, either over or under, they're just like in a hip pin, anything like that, passing side control. The guy at the bottom grabs the belt, the belt, and then like a sleeve, and they basically roll over their shoulder. Yeah, the near side.
They kind of gator roll,
and they gator roll and basically get on top. So it's kind of a momentum sweep, if you will. You got to get the arm out of
his passing.
Right.
Yeah. So you showed Eric, the professor, and then Eric showed me, and for some reason I just took that and ran with it.
Yeah, you guys took it to a whole new level. I can't even hit that sweep on you guys anymore, but you guys, you and Eric, man, both of y'all hit me.
I think a lot of guys use, instead of using power, against like a bigger guy to pass, you have to really use speed, and you take that momentum and you kind of just use that momentum against them, which you got to be able to like halt that momentum and get really heavy and kind of down and get your weight down.
But see, I figured out what works for me is like I use that over under pass a lot. Like as you turn the corner to go to side control, like that's where you'll end up getting swept. Like the guy can hit you with a bro sweep, and then the arm that's under the leg, like you can turn that into a leg drag, or an arm drag. So now what I do is I just stay like in line with the guy's hips. You know what I
Like
mean?
parallel or perpendicular?
Yeah.
Like
what's that in a straight line?
Parallel.
Yeah, parallel.
Perpendicular is like 90 degrees.
Okay, yeah, parallel.
So you don't, because I think if you get perpendicular to them, they can get your weight.
Well,
over time.
it's almost kind of like a baseball choke from the bottom. So if you say like that, I would have to turn and make the angle since you're not giving it to me.
Right, but it's like I keep control of that hip, like the underhook. I grab the belt and like pull that, and I keep my head in that same side I'm grabbing.
Yeah, I know it didn't do shit against Chris.
And Chris is big, dude.
That motherfucker just hopped on the other side.
Chris is one of those guys, man. He's a brown belt that trains here at Derby City, and he's just a bigger, stronger guy.
He's a bigger, stronger.
The thing is he's super explosive. Like he just bursts of energy, and he does a lot of hop over passes and stuff, and which is basically it's hard to keep up with a guy that's that big and that fast and explosive. And you're a smaller guy, and that's what you go to. To pass, that kind of wears you out, especially when they're heavier and they keep that pace.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot faster and more athletic than he looks.
Yeah, no, I mean he's just strong. He's just super strong. He's legit, and he's got some good chokes. Tony, is there anybody you like to watch? Like any jiu-jitsu players you like to kind of build your game around, or anybody you think works?
I usually pull details from like different people. You know what I mean? Like,
who do you like? I mean, what do you pull from?
I've always been a fan of Dean Lister.
Dean Lister.
You know what I mean?
He's kind of old school, yeah.
Yeah. He's old school and like he's not like too technical. You know what I mean?
Right.
He shows stuff that anybody can use, which is good for me because like I'm 40, so I
can't get inverted too crazily.
I still can. I pay for it the next day. You know what I mean? But I can still do it, and I still use it, just not as much. But he's like my age, man, and like I like how he breaks stuff down. And
what about it? Like just it's like applicable to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, just
like
anybody can use it.
Just real basic stuff. I've been to a couple of his seminars, man, and I learned something every time.
Really,
you know what I mean?
Just learn a piece, some kind of move.
Yeah.
I mean that's cool. Anybody else you like to watch?
Because
you always do. I mean, you do some different stuff. You do some stuff nobody does in the gym. Like you'll play with certain things. Like I mean, I'll play a little rubber. I mean, I don't know if you play even rubber guard, but I'll play rubber guard a little bit here and there.
I use bits and pieces.
Yeah, I do too. Like lockdown and some of those things.
People, especially like when Bravo first brought his system out. You know what I mean? When it kind of went like mainstream,
right?
Like people were clowning on it, man. But it's actually a really good system. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you like? What do you like from what he does? Like, what pieces of his game do you like?
Like his twister side control. You know what I mean? I find that interesting. I have problems holding it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'll hit it once in a while. Like
you have that flexibility, man. The hips have to be so flexible.
Yeah, he's definitely a flexible dude. Yeah, flexibility is definitely a bonus when you're using that system. But
yeah, rubber guard's tough to get, man. It's just tough for me to get into.
Yeah,
just because I can't. Like my hips just don't move like that. I mean,
see, I use it for like omoplata setup.
Yeah, it does good. Yeah, because it passes the leg over the head.
Like I use rubber guard for like the omoplata setups, but like some of those like invisible collar. And some of those. He's got some weird names for some of that shit. Crackhead control.
He said he gets those because
it
makes it stand out. Like people remember it.
Yeah,
like it makes it just gives every position like some kind of, I don't know, unique character. I don't know why he does it, but it sounds weird. But I mean, he's got
it makes sense.
That do his system.
Yeah,
I mean they're good, and I mean he does incorporate a lot of leg locks too.
Yeah, but it's like stuff you rarely see or not hear anyway. Like like the cross ripper and like banana splits.
I've done some of that stuff.
I'll hit like calf cutters and stuff once in a while, but
I think that stuff can work, man. People don't expect it. If they kind of expect it, they can kind of really bear down into it. And it's hard. I've hit it before, but then people kind of realized what I was doing.
A twister sucks. Is that what they still call it, where they grab the head or whatever? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's twister.
That's
twister. Yeah,
that
submission.
Sucks. Yeah,
it's like a spine crank, something like that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else you like to watch? Rob, who you like, buddy?
Rob, he's raising his hand. He's reminding me that I like to watch.
I'll tell you, I've started from half guard. Like, I'll play knee shield a ton. And then people, they didn't want to be in that, loop choke position, that cross collar, so they'll stand
it's
up.
It's a bad place to be, yeah.
So they stand up, so I started really developing De La Hiva, and then from there, I've started working into X-Guard, and I love it, man. I really just love watching Marcelo. Because he's a smaller guy, but man, it's just everything. I feel like a lot of stuff he does. I'm not as good at arm drag. There's a lot of people who do arm drag, and it's good if you're effective. It's good for no gi, definitely.
Yeah, dude's a wizard, man. Like
he's awesome.
He's in a league of his own. You know what I mean?
He's 32, 33.
Yeah,
he's retired too. He's not doing. I don't think he's competing anymore.
He'll invite people to like world champs. You know what I mean? Like Demian Maia was in there, and he's hitting like no gi butterfly sweeps.
Really?
Like he'll palm the guy's head. He'll grab their head and like push it, and then like push the arm and sweep them. And
who do you think's got the best jiu-jitsu in MMA? Damian Maia's one, definitely.
He's up there. Jacare is pretty.
You think so?
Yeah.
He stands a lot. He's a lot of standing.
Man, like, I don't know, like...
I think Damian Maia.
He's probably top 3.
The way that he, like, controls people is just crazy. They look like they've never done jiu-jitsu before, the way he gets on top.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's probably in my top 3, like,
he's
favorite guys to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as
it's probably Dean Lister, and then Demian Maia, and Jacare, probably.
Yeah, Jacare's good, man. He's awesome.
And Galval's up there, too.
Well, then you got Estima.
He's
fighting.
He's only had, like, one or two fights.
Or, I'm sorry, not Estima.
Braulio. Who do you want?
I can't think of his name.
Use your words.
Holy Christ, you're retired, dude.
No, not that dude.
Ken Shamrock? Most dangerous man alive?
Dan Severn.
I can't.
He's going to Google it. Google it, Rob.
Yeah, Google it and get back with us.
No, I think Damian Maia is awesome. Just watching him. I think Nate Diaz is good if he wants to do it.
Yeah.
He just likes to stand. I mean, he's got good boxing. But, I mean, he's great off his back, too. He gets a lot of submissions off his back.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. I'm trying to think. Yeah. To
be honest, though, man, I really don't watch a whole lot of UFC anymore.
You don't watch fights anymore?
Dude, they used to.
Why not?
There'd be one
too
like,
much?
Yeah, it's too much. It's like, they'll have like 2 or 3 a week, it seems like. You know what I mean? It used to be like one every month or something, because we would have like UFC parties, or like meet up here, and I could keep up.
Lovato.
Yeah, Lovato, yeah.
Lovato.
He's legit.
He started fighting.
Alejandro Gracie's still, but he's fighting in Japan. He's kind of roided up, I think.
Is he?
Oh, he looked different. He looked jacked.
He got laid out by a Polish dude.
That was in Strikeforce, I think.
No, that was in some like Moscow league.
No, he's like, he looks jacked. He looks huge.
Audrey Gracie?
Yeah.
He's always a big
he looks, I got to meet him in Vegas a couple years ago. It was crazy.
Yeah, you tell me that.
It was awesome. I was like starstruck. It was crazy. He's just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. So, I don't know. Yeah, he was awesome. Tony, what do you think as far as like injuries you've dealt with, like as you're getting older? What do you feel like you're dealing with? It says the Jiu-Jitsu Therapist, so I'm a physical therapist, so let's get
the rapist.
Jiu-Jitsu the Rapist. What do you think? Like, I know you got some back problems in the past. What do you feel like you deal with a lot? I mean, what do you feel like is hard for you to maybe keep training or keep you on the mats?
Mobility.
So as far as like tightness in the joints, hips, neck,
man, lower back and my hamstrings, especially my right hamstrings. But I think like I ended up going to the doctor, back doctor, and he took X-rays and stuff. But like
what they say, just degenerative changes, age stuff.
Apparently, I had like either a birth defect or I was injured when I was young and like didn't get looked at.
Your parents dropped you?
Yeah, through the second story. Like my hips are all uneven,
Really?
Like I got a little
that
bit
could be some muscle
corkscrew in like my lower spine. So like this right side down here.
So they don't think it's anything like muscle related. Like maybe you just developed that over the years. No. I think it's something
bone. Like
so, what do you do? Like what do you do to try to alleviate that? I mean, you do
jiu-jitsu, and then I got to roll out of bed the next day. Like,
do you like foam rolling?
Yeah,
foam roller.
Yeah.
Do you do any kind of mobility exercises or anything like
Not
stretches?
Not like I should.
Okay. Rob, thank you for the time, brother.
Later, guys.
Appreciate it. Great laugh, by the way.
Yeah.
We're gonna use that later.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, man.
Later.
So what, you some back injuries, neck injuries, stuff like that?
Neck's all right.
What do you do to recover? I mean, what have you been doing? Like if you after jiu-jitsu, what do you do to like cross train, or do you like to do anything to?
I'll go to the gym 2 or 3 days a week, or do some calisthenics at home.
Just like plyometric stuff, or stretching, or just
a little bit of everything.
Any specific strength you like to do? I mean, is there anything you like to do? Any muscle groups you like to hit?
Everything.
Just hit everything.
Yeah, like basic stuff. You know what I mean? Like push-ups, pull-ups, squats, stuff like that. I like doing kettlebell stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You feel like that helps your mobility or just explosiveness as far as kettlebells? Yeah, I think it's more of dynamic movement, definitely. Is there anything you like to do to cross-train? I mean, is there anything else? I mean, you run, anything like that?
I'll jog once in a while. I'll do like 20 minutes, 3 or 4.
So you just do like a slow pace or?
Yeah, just slow pace. I might throw on like a weighted vest or something,
See, man, I'll tell you, I got this tournament coming up, so I've been just trying to do a little different, do more explosive type stuff. I try to simulate jiu-jitsu, so if I run, I don't necessarily run really far, but I do like sprint work. So I try to, I'll do intervals. I'll try to just jog, and then I'll try to sprint and get my heart rate up, and then I'll try to get it down, as efficiently as I can, and I'll keep doing that. I'll just sprint, and then I'll jog slowly, do some different movements, and
get your heart rate up.
Yeah, I'm trying to basically, if I'm in a tournament, explode. If I need to explode out of position or get into a position, really fight, to secure a position, then I can kind of, once I get it, hold it, get my heart rate back down. And that's the way I train. That's what I started training. I don't know. I'm not really training. I used to train just traditional bench press, rows, bicep curls, shoulder press, squat. But now I'm doing I'll do some lighter squats while doing with some jumps. I'll try to just really control the jump and then control the slowing down, the eccentric motion. So I'm just trying to see if that does anything, gives me more explosiveness, because I think as far as jiu-jitsu goes, I feel like that's, as I've gotten older, I feel like my endurance isn't as great. I'm not that old, but I feel like, when I run, I feel better. I feel like I'm more, it takes me less time to get going, and then I feel like I can kind of get my stride.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. Any kind of warm-ups you like doing before you get out and train? I mean, just general stretching?
Yeah, I mean, I might, if I'm at the gym or something, I might hop on a treadmill or something like that. You know what I mean? I usually do a mile or two on the treadmill, just get a light sweat going, and then I try to use I'll try to do compound exercises. You know what I mean? Just how you're saying, do squat jumps and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, I try not to do anything to really load the spine too much. So if I jump, I try to really make a soft landing, so it's not a lot of compressive forces on the spine, because I think people can kind of hear this and they can think, oh, well, I'll just start jumping. But if you jump and then you land with all that weight, it's just a lot of pressure. So you have to make sure it's a light weight. Right. And you really control the descent. So you really try to land as softly as you can. I think it really is beneficial. I don't know. Yeah, I just want to see what stuff you did. I mean, really, how many days a week you usually train?
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
I try to get at least 3.
At least 3, yeah. I feel like that's my sweet spot, too.
Yeah.
3. I feel more sharp.
Yeah. See that? Last week, I did 3 days in a row, man.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
I was wore out, man. I was wore out by that third day.
Did you feel flat? Just not explosive, no energy?
Yeah. I was probably tired mentally too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Between chasing my daughter around and then work and then trying to come in here, to do.
How do you get that, man? Where do you feel like your motivation comes from now? I mean, a lot of people strive to get to that black belt. I mean, you've been a black belt for a few years.
No, maybe a year and a half.
A couple of years. No, it's been a couple. Well, it's been a little bit. And what do you feel like? I mean, where do you get mentally? How do you prepare yourself to get in the gym, or how do you kind of?
I just do it, man. You know what I mean? It's second nature for me. Most people are just oh man, I gotta go to the gym tomorrow. I don't even think about it. You know,
right?
What I mean?
Just do it.
Yeah, I kind of got a schedule, a set schedule.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if something comes up, and I can't get in that day, then I'll just move it to a different, the next day or later on in the week or something.
Do you try to when you're learning techniques, you try to find something that really works both for gi and no gi? Or do you try to train like that? I mean, is there anything?
I try to. I try to do that.
I mean, it's the way you play your game when you're in the gi. You like to do stuff that just really.
Yeah, there's some stuff I'll use. Some of my go-to stuff that's gi specific, but it usually involves a sleeve grip or something like that. Right. So I mean, it's just a simple change, doing wrist control instead. No gi is in my opinion, is a totally different beast. What
do you think the difference is?
It's just faster. You know what I mean? With a gi, it's you're rolling in quicksand. Sure. I
mean, a lot more friction.
Yeah, and no gi, you got the sweat factor, so you got to improvise your grips, elbow, wrist, neck, head, stuff like that.
Did you ever, when you started training, do you ever think, like, I'm not going to do this long term, or I'm going to quit? Or do you feel like once you started, you had that goal, like, I want to get to, black belt, or I want to get to, a certain level?
Yeah, man, to be honest, man, like, I never really worried about the belts.
Right. You say that, and I use that example of what you said, you chase... You don't
technique, yeah.
I love that. It's like I say
techniques.
that shit all the time. I think it's like one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard, because I don't know, but a belt's like an affirmation of your accomplishment. But I don't know. I think the time you put in is really the most important thing.
Yeah, it's like when I got my black belt, man. Like, I wasn't expecting it. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, it was nice and stuff. But like I was telling people, it's like, what if we came in here, like, nobody knew anybody, and we came in here, like, and just did, like, no-gi, you know what I mean? Like, nobody would know what belt level we were,
right,
until you start throwing out techniques, you know what I mean? Like, you roll with somebody, like, oh, man, this guy's good, he's got sweeps, his takedowns are good, submissions good, like, you don't know.
Right. I mean, you feel like, like we talked about, you feel like you have a bigger target on you now. I mean, you're a black belt. You feel like people come in and they're just like, I want to tap Tony today, just because it's. I mean, everybody gets caught. It doesn't matter, lower belt, upper belt. It happens.
Yeah. And then I'll roll with some, like, the lower belts. Will be like, everybody's done paired up, and I'll be sitting there like, hey, I need a partner.
Right.
And there'll be like 3 or 4 dudes kind of hesitant to, like, come over. Yeah,
I love rolling, man.
And then
every time
I
get a chance, I do.
They'll be like, "Oh man, I have to roll with the black belt." I'm like, I'm no better than you. I'm no better than anybody. I just maybe been doing it a little bit longer.
You are. I disagree. You are better,
man.
Than a lot of people.
I appreciate it though.
You are, man. I enjoy whenever you run class, man. I really enjoy. I feel like you have a different style. Like, Chewy's got a different style just because his build. Like, your build's more, like, similar to mine. So I feel like a lot of things that you do, I can kind of directly, I feel like, correlate. Like, Chewy has certain things from Chewy's game he's really great at. And I like to, like his butterfly sweep and stuff that he does, and then certain stuff you do, I just like certain chokes or certain holds, just based on, I think body composition, like your body style, really dictates what kind of game you're going to play. A lot of taller, thinner, lankier guys tend to like the guard, tend to like, triangles, favor the bottom game. A lot of bigger, stronger guys, I think, favor top game.
Right.
I mean, you feel like is that kind of accurate in your opinion? I mean, do you feel like that's the way, or do you feel, that's why I feel like I play more of a bottom game now. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's not developed because I just have certain places I feel like I'm more comfortable.
Right.
And I like to be on top, but just sometimes I don't get there.
Yeah.
I'm okay being there, but
yeah. I probably, if I have to work on anything, man, it'd definitely be like the top game. I'll pass guard and get the side control, and then maybe get the mount, and then I end up back in like half guard. You know, stuff like that. I don't know.
Do you think it's little stuff? Little like tweaks you need to make?
Yeah, it's just little stuff. I might get ahead of myself, or like I'll be trying like a new choke or something.
Right.
Something that I hadn't really drilled a whole lot. I'll be like, man, I got mount. I'm gonna go ahead and try this choke, and then.
Well, but that's how you know what works, what doesn't.
Yeah.
You like to drill it before? Before you maybe.
Sometimes I will. A lot of times, like I'll see stuff and it just be like a variation of something I already use.
Okay.
Like a certain sweep, like for instance, like a half guard sweep. Instead of grabbing inside the leg, like I'll grab outside the leg. I'm starting to do that a whole lot more now.
Okay.
I used to like grab inside at the knee. Now I'm grabbing to the outside, and I'm setting up. Like I said, there's some like leg stuff I've been working on from there.
So you're like working to transition leg locks and stuff from there. Yeah, you got me a couple times. You jerk. Well, we got in that 50-50. I don't get in that position very often.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to start. That's something I'm going to start working on. It's not a position I'm going to like. It's not going to be like a go-to position. But man, there's actually like a lot of stuff from there.
I'm starting to go for a lot more legs too, but I feel like in some instances when I play half guard, my legs are a little vulnerable. But then other times, I'll transition to X guard, and I've found a ton of leg stuff from there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just try to grow a little bit, try to do a little something different every time. I don't like to do the same shit.
Right. See, I don't know. I did like the X guard. You know, I played a lot of X guard when I was like probably like purple belt.
Right.
Like X guard was like my go-to, and then I just kind of like got away from it and started going to like
it's great.
other stuff. I mean, I'll use it to like transition sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's
the funny
it's
thing,
not my go-to.
I have a hard time, man. I have a hard time being in people's guard, being in closed guard.
Really?
Yeah, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be, you know, I just don't like being there.
So
I know people don't like.
I mean,
being in my guard.
do you think you need to work on like your you know, opening?
Yeah, my
guard
opening,
and passing?
stand up. I think stand up pass. I think when you're, it's really hard, man. When you have a good guard player to like break the legs, you have to stand. I mean, you just have to. I think it's the only way you can.
Oh yeah,
You have to stand up.
Yeah, standing guard breaks is definitely hard.
That's what I'm trying to work. And plus, you're thinking about your posture when you stand up. I mean, you're kind of further away. I mean, you're some other things. You're vulnerable to some sweeps and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. As far as submission goes, I feel like you're a little safer in that aspect.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like once you stand, you feel like you're losing your balance. You can always go back down.
Right. Yeah, I feel like my legs always my legs grab. And then
yeah. See, I did that today, man. Like I stood up and was, you know, I stayed there way too long.
Yeah,
and
you got to go.
Yeah, I got swept back and like had a reset pretty much.
I never thought I'd be, you know, doing jiu-jitsu growing up. I was always scared of confrontations anyways.
Yeah, I was too. I got beat up a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Huh. Not anymore, huh?
It's like a little chubby kid. Nah.
Yeah.
Now I just walk away from fights.
Why?
Like I said, man.
You just don't want to get shot.
Yeah. Don't want to get shot. Don't want to get jumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll fight if I have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't got time for that shit. You know
Yeah, I hear you. Have you? When was the last time you competed in jiu-jitsu?
Man, it's been a while.
Is that something you feel like you want to get back into? You want to do?
I was wanting to compete some at Black Belt, man, but I work every weekend, and of course most tournaments are on the weekend.
Right.
So I really don't want to miss work.
Not be ready.
Yeah, not be ready.
What do you feel like you like to? I mean, what do you like to do as far as like if you prep for a tournament? What do you like to? What's your kind of prep schedule? What do you like to do?
Just drill.
Just drill, a lot of drilling. Yeah. Well,
takedowns are key, I think.
Yeah, because that sets up everything, really.
Yeah. Takedowns are key, especially in tournaments, man. Like, anytime I've done tournaments, that's the first thing to wear me out, man, is them takedowns. Yeah. You know, stand up there, grip fighting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just...
What's the nerves? Everybody does jiu-jitsu, so you know what happens when you get to the ground. It's the stand-up part that's the nervous part.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking part, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. Jiu-jitsu's frustrating. For sure. It's frustrating to get submitted. How do you... Let me ask you this. How do you... If you get submitted, you know, how do you go about it? What's your mentality in your head? Like, how do you brush it off? How do you... Like, my mentality is, I want to fucking go at this person. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to go with my... I'm not even going to play or try to do different stuff. I'm going to do my go-to. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to go for the submission, go for the finish.
Yeah.
I'm not always like that, but...
Are you talking about in class or in tournaments?
Just in general.
Oh,
just
in general?
In class. Yeah. How do you feel like, you know, if a lower belt gets you in class, like, does that mess your confidence at all? Does it mess with your?
That's how I learn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't really worry about the belt levels. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if I come into class and I see like a white belt or a blue belt over messing with a sweep or something, I like it. I'll be like, hey man, you know, let me in on that sweep. Like,
right.
How you setting that up? You know. But
kind of colorblind, I guess.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I mean, that's cool because I have a hard time, man. I take it like if I get submitted or something by a lower belt or somebody I feel like I'm better than, I take it, man. I feel like that's a reflection upon me and like just not deserving of where I'm at.
Nah, man. Like if you're trying new stuff, like if a technique's new, you know what I mean? Like I might go for like certain sweeps and stuff, and like I miss and the guy passes.
Right.
You know, give up my back and choke the shit out of me. I'm like, okay, well, I need to keep working.
Right.
You know, working that sweep because the guy just freaking blew right through it. You know.
Right.
But you get like, and I was probably like that when I first started, which I know, like white belt, I know I was probably like that.
Right. Well, yeah.
But then after a while, like I realized that it takes all the fun out of it. You know what I mean? Like I look at you guys as like, you know, family. You know.
Right.
I'm in here. You know, we're all trying to get better, like you said, and like work on stuff and just have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I get tapped out, you know, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean? Like
you don't take it like as far as like I mean, not so personally, but like I sometimes. I mean, I take it like
I'm a black belt. I shouldn't be getting.
Like I take it hard. Like sometimes. I mean, I'm okay getting tapped, but it happens all the time. But if sometimes it's a belt that's lower than me or something, I feel like I'm better than. I don't know. Sometimes it gets to me. It eats at me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can see how that could get. That could happen.
Well, I'm just curious to see how I can not be that way.
Just have fun with it. Man.
Just keep working.
Yeah. Don't worry about the belt levels. Like what color the guy's belt is. Just work on your technique.
Right.
I've come in here and like got my ass handed to me, but there might be one point to where like I remembered to do something. Like I would say like, I remembered to like as I was coming up for the sweep to get the underhook or like hold on to this, and like the technique can work. I might, get tapped out or lose that round, but there's like that. Like I said, like 1%.
So you get something out of it. A little bit to build on.
Say you get 1%, you get better 1% each class.
Right.
100 classes, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, no, really, that makes sense. I mean, is there any kind of regimen you like to do as far as, you prefer rolling for drilling? Do you like to, if you could have perfect class, perfect setup, how you could learn and get better, what would you do?
Definitely drill.
Just drill?
Yeah, just take like maybe one or two techniques and just drill.
How many reps do you like to get in? How do you feel like how many reps do you like to get in until you feel like the technique is solid?
It's weeks, sometimes months, man.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's at least 1,000 or more. You know what I mean? Like I like doing like 2-minute intervals. You know what I mean? Like 2 minutes and then let the other guy go, and then like I do the other side or whatever. Do you like to train both? Obviously, train both sides. So it just depends on how if the technique feels like I like the technique, but it feels kind of awkward. I'll stick with what I consider like my A side.
Sure.
And then once I get comfortable with that, then I'll try to like slowly transfer it over to the other side.
Okay.
I actually learned that pointer from Marcelo Garcia.
Okay.
We was talking about.
So he just drills one side.
Yeah,
until he perfects it, and then he goes to the other side.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do both.
Yeah, or I've heard him like even like in like interviews and stuff. He just like just do your A side.
Really.
Yeah. Which I was.
What do you think? What's the advantage of that? It makes you if somebody knows you're one side, or you end up on the other side, you can't go to it.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, if like most people like pass, and as far as defending, like it's usually hard for people to defend the guy passing to their left.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's why I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, for me, like, both sides would probably.
Chewy.
Sir.
Can we ask you about, hold on. Chewy's here. We're going to ask him. He doesn't want to be on, but I'm going to ask him anyway.
I'm just working.
Chew.
Sir.
Tell us about your tournament.
What do you want to know?
How'd it go? How'd it feel?
The Kumite?
It went fine.
Were you nervous?
You're always nervous. I like one of the guys on the website asked it the other day. They were like, "Do black belts still get nervous? Do black belts still hear coaching? Do they even need a coach to say, hey, breathe?"
Right?
Absolutely, because it's stressful no matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter where you're at. At every point, it's always stressful. Hell, there was even an article back in the day that had Keenan Cornelius throwing up, after matches because of an adrenaline dump. So nervous, yes, but you get better at coping with it. So you just have fun. For me, I actually put up a really weird, for me anyway, post. It was like Kumite minute by minute.
Okay.
When you're in that weird mindset of a tournament, your mind's just in a different spot. At least it is for me. Like, I think it's almost as if like there's nothing else after this, right?
Okay.
For instance, day to day, like you're like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this, Monday I'm going to do this, whatever it is, right? You're kind of planning ahead. In a tournament situation, for me, I feel like the only thing that my mind can comprehend is that match.
Okay.
And then beyond that, I can't. It's almost like as if to me, think of it as like if some guy was getting ready to get executed, it's that. That is the last thing that his body can comprehend.
Man,
this is it, right?
This shit's serious.
This is it, yeah, because this is it, right? Because this is the only thing that matters for right now, right? Fuck tomorrow, fuck next week, it doesn't matter. What matters right now is how you perform.
Okay.
But at the same time, like when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's really meaningless, right? Like, it doesn't really mean anything. So in the grand scheme of things, these tournaments, these competitions, they don't mean shit. Like, it's not going to change anything, right?
Okay.
So anyway, so what I did was I wrote down everything that I was thinking which is really, it's kind of some silly shit.
So you're typing
just typing this up as I was going throughout the day. And then an hour before I was getting ready for the tournament, I cut off. I said, I'm done for now. I got to compete, you know. Okay. But I was writing down my thoughts as I was doing it. But one of the things is like it helps is like you just realize how meaningless it is. It doesn't mean anything. If you lose, it doesn't matter. Your wife's not going to leave you. Your girlfriend's not going to leave you. Your buddies are still going to be your friends. So then all you're left to do is go out there and fucking do your best.
That's a good perspective.
Have some fun.
That's a good perspective.
That's what I said.
This has been your moment. The Chewy Corner.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was pretty good. Thanks, Chew. Well, appreciate it, man. Tony, I mean, is there any stuff you got for new guys starting jiu-jitsu? Any pointers? Anything you'd like to tell people?
Just stick with it, man.
Stick with
the drill. People get that blue belt disease. They get a blue belt and they disappear.
Blue beltitis.
Corey Higdon. But
wow. I think he's wrestling. I think he's into wrestling now.
Wrestling?
Corey Higdon. That was Tony calling you out. Come back to jiu-jitsu.
I want to call him. I missed him, man.
He misses you. He misses your fluffy ass. Get over.
He's funny and shit.
He's great, man.
I knew him back when he was pissing in the bed. I made that last part up, but
I don't know. I believe you, Tony. Yeah, I feel like, man, having a black belt's perspective is so valuable. I mean, really, we appreciate it. I enjoy rolling with you, man. I always learn something. I'll get you one of these days.
You've got
maybe. Whatever. Tony likes to build me up, and then so he can take me out when my head gets big.
True, man.
Tony, man, I appreciate the time, brother. It means a lot. I hope we do it again. If there's anything, any kind of insights you have for anybody to learn, get better at jiu-jitsu, man, you're a great mind in the sport. Really, I really feel that. I feel like you're so technical. You
appreciate it, man.
Well, you do, man. You don't use a lot of power. You use more tech. Like you said, you out technique people almost.
That's my goal, anyway.
That's all. No, you do, man. You really do. I appreciate.
Don't always work.
I appreciate you being humble, but no, I really. That's why I think.
You gotta be in this art.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because I think I really feel like I learned stuff from you when even we're rolling. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being an awesome resource for us in the gym too. So
you guys are my resource. You know what I mean? Like without you guys, I would just be like shadow grappling, I guess, which I don't think I'd get very good at that.
That's all right. You always win.
Yeah. That'd be the only upside to it.
All right, Tony, man. I appreciate it, dude. I know you got to run, so thank you again. And Rob's laugh was legit. So
that's got to be the intro.
It's going to be the intro to my techno music. I've got like a little techno music intro.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've listened to your other podcast.
All right. And then I'm going to put that's all right. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate any feedback you got, guys. Any feedback that you have, check us out. Thank you guys for joining the podcast, and thank you to my guests Tony Spencer, Rob Halpern, and also Nick Chewy Albin for making an appearance. You can follow me on Twitter at Jiu-Jitsu PT. You can also check out my website, which has more blogs and more podcasts, from everything from injury prevention to health and wellness. And I appreciate your guys' time. And JiujitsuTherapist.com is the site. Thank you all on Jiu-Jitsu Therapist Podcast. Follow me on iTunes. Thank you guys. See you next time.